I wanted to really quickly tell you about the sleeper hit that you probably saw at the PlayStation conference but didn't pay much attention to, and that would be Moss by Polyarc. VR games have a hard time giving you true immersion with first-person experiences, and this game totally breaks that by giving you a third-person experience with the most adorable new character, Quill. I made an appointment to play this game at E3 when it was an unannounced VR title by the developers of Destiny and Halo and all of this other stuff. I knew I wanted to play some VR stuff, and I love Destiny, so this sounded like a good thing that I wanted to try. But I actually double booked myself. I ended up having to do a live stream with Watch Mojo at the same time. So I sent my friend Greg to play it, who you'll end up seeing in the vlog whenever the hell that comes out. He came back from the demo and said, "Oh my god, you have to play this. This is the best thing I've seen all week." So we went back and they were kind enough to give us another demo. And I got to talk to one of the developers and ask him questions like, why VR and why Moss? Hey, I'm here with Danny.
Yeah.
With Polyarc Games.
Polyarc.
And you have Moss, which is a VR experience for PlayStation VR that I just tried, and it was really, really good. Now, in your little press release, you say that you are people who previously worked at Bungie on things like Halo, Destiny, one of my favorite games. So what do you do for Polyarc now?
So I'm the design director at Polyarc, and it's my role to like think of the player experience and work with the team to make sure we're hitting all of our goals in terms of how we want the player to feel, how quickly we teach them mechanics, where we put those mechanics within the game, and just generally kind of overall the player experience that happens while they're playing Moss.
So what made you guys want to leave and go off on your own to create your own game?
We were fortunate enough to get early previews of virtual reality just as it was coming with the track controllers, right? And once we saw track controllers and we saw what this the immersion that was possible with VR, we really just saw that opportunity and just grabbed it as quick as we can because we were excited. It was a great new medium for us to tell stories in. It opened up the design space in terms of things that we could do with player interaction, and so there was a lot of cascading effects, and we just thought it was the right time. We had just finished Destiny, and we thought we could take a stab at.
So what made you want to go the route of third-person VR instead of just first-person VR? Because you guys worked on a lot of first-person games previously.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way that this all kind of happened is we really took a step back and asked ourselves what would make a good VR game. And everything kind of came around that. We started identifying the things that we believe as players would make a good VR game. And at first we started thinking about comfort. That was the number one thing for us. We wanted to make sure that players feel comfortable when they play the game and they can feel relaxed like we do when we play games on our couch. And so we started from there. We sat the players down, and then we started going into what does it mean to reach into the world? And that's really cool. That's something that you can't do without track controllers. So that was the next step. And so once we had those two elements, sitting and reaching, we started realizing that we needed a hero that you could actually interact with inside of this small space, right? And so from there, we came up with Quill, who is our hero, and you play as the reader. And then we got really excited about this bond that you can have with a hero because the character can look right at you in the eyes in VR. And as you move your head, she can look at you and she can interact with you. She can see your hands. And all of that just came together to create Moss, and a lot of our design decisions were based around that. The interesting thing about VR is you're kind of always in first person because your head is the camera, and so for third person, it's just a different perspective on it. Like I said earlier about interacting with the hero, we found something really cool in the early VR prototypes that we experienced where you would peer into dollhouses and see these little people living their lives. And so we really took that and ran with it. We thought that was a really great use of scale, which VR is really good at, is giving you the sense of scale, whether they're small or large. And so naturally we just came into this place where we had a fixed camera where you can sit and look into this small world, though you're a part of a much larger world.
Right. One of my biggest concerns with VR is locomotion, how you actually move. It looks like you got past that by just making the whole thing third person, going from scene to scene. So that was probably one of my favorite things. And you also, again, bring you into the experience by having the whole play area be interactive. What was your inspiration for Quill, the main character?
Going back to a hero that can be interacting with this small space, just like most games, Quill started off as a rectangular block that we were jumping around. And then slowly we started getting into the position of, okay, well, who is this hero supposed to be? And what do we want the players to feel when they're interacting with this hero? And we thought we wanted her to feel fragile, so a lot of design decisions were around that, sort of like taking care of a pet. We wanted you to create this bond. You don't always know what she's saying, but you can kind of tell what she's saying by her motions and the context. So we made a lot of decisions on the visuals around, what will invoke this emotion from the player, what will make you want to care for them, but also, start to like just create a friendship with her. And so a lot of that just kind of came into fruition, and that's where we ended up with a small animal to kind of give you those pet feelings, and like the idea of like, a lot of people had a small pet or a small mouse or a gerbil, and so we kind of just went from there. Yeah.
It looks like a lot of the emotion and a lot of what you read from the characters is from their movements, and you get a lot of their personality from that, from what I've seen so far. I'm assuming there's no voice acting at all.
As it stands in the demo, there's not, but we're still, VR is new, and we're still trying to experiment, and we're still learning on how to actually convey a meaningful story in VR. And there's a lot of different experiences out there where people are really succeeding at it. And for us, I think we're going to, our plan is to utilize the book a lot. You saw there was animated pages within the book. We plan on to lean on those for some of our story moments. But also with the book motif, we're also thinking about narration and what does that sound like, and who's reading the book to you. And so we're trying to answer all these questions because we know the story that we want to tell, and we're just trying to figure out with the new medium, how do we actually tell it.
I did notice the second I started playing, you look in the water, or you're looking at Quill, and you look into the water, and you can see your face, or whatever the character that you're playing as, that face. So I understand what you're getting at. Are you going to do something to Quill that's going to make me cry somewhere towards like the lower third, fourth of the game?
I cannot confirm or deny that.
I'm going to cry. I'm going to be like hysterical crying inside my headset.
No, it's really important that you have this range of emotions in order. Like if you've ever had a friendship, it's not always perfect, right? You go through conflict, you also go through love, and you go through like laughter. And so I think part of bringing Quill in the world of Moss to life is going to be going through a range of emotions, and each obstacle and challenge that you face will probably throw different emotions at you. We'll put you in different environments that hopefully invoke different emotions. But we'll do our best not to break anybody's heart.
Right. It seems like there's a big focus on the animations in the game to convey that sort of emotion.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say about that?
Well, I can give a shout out to our animator, Rick Lico, who is a god among men when it comes to animators.
Is he the guy that did the Destiny stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Specifically the Blade Dance?
Yes, specifically the
He is a god amongst men.
Yeah, Rick has touched many a games, and they all come out looking amazing. And it's been great to work with him, and he's really taken Quill and brought her to life. And even the rest of the world, like even how the book animates, that's Rick. We're a small team, so we're all learning how to do things that we didn't normally do. And so it was great to watch Rick spend a couple of days animating a book.
How big is the studio?
We're a team size of 15 right now. 15. Yeah.
So how big is the art department?
The art department is...
Or the people who did the animations?
Yeah, one.
Yeah. So it is him who did everything.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
You can tell his personal touch is all over.
Yeah, he loves Quill. I think he lives and breathes Quill now. It's been great to watch everybody kind of pour their emotion into Quill by the situations that the designers put him in, the environments that the artists put him in, the audio, that the way she sounds and the way it sounds when she climbs up things. It's really cool to watch this character kind of be all of our child as the team built it. It's been a really cool thing to see.
Cool. So do you have a launch window or anything?
Yeah, in the winter of 2017. Our hope is to get it out here soon. Yeah.
I heard that you guys, this is kind of a quick project for you.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think about where we are at in the industry with VR, and I don't think right now the market supports really long games or really long development cycles, so it's been kind of our goal to do it as efficiently as possible, keep it on a small team size with a lot of talented developers, which was our goal when we were hiring the team, but also create a game where players feel like they're getting a great value out of that. And so we expect, players to have a couple hours of gameplay, and with that means, we just need to get the game out to them as quick as possible.
Do you have a price point?
No, that's the beautiful thing about being a self-published title. I mean, we're doing this game on our own as Polyarc, both developing and publishing it. And the thing that affords us is the ability to look at the game not only as developers but as players. Look what we've created, and then release it to the players at a price that we would feel is right. And it's kind of an important thing for us at Polyarc is the value, because I think if the player value goes away, you don't have any fans, you don't have an audience to play your game. So it's really important for us to make sure that the players get good value for their money.
Well, awesome.
Yeah.
Look out for Polyarc sometime this holiday season. It was one of the most interesting things I have played so far at E3. One of my favorite things that I've played this weekend.
Thanks, Sam.
This week. It's been a long week.
It's a time warp.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Bob.
See you guys later. I called it Polyarc. It's Moss. The game is called Moss. Look out for a Moss at the holidays, the end of the year. Let me know what you guys think. If this game interests you, if you were already interested in it and just want to know more about it, leave it in the comments below. Add me on Twitter, all this other social media garbage. If you have any more questions about this game, I'm sure the developers will be more than happy to answer your questions. So follow them on whatever social media I put here. And even if you leave it in the comments, you might see them. Anyway, thank you guys very much, and you have yourselves a very good week. Beautiful. You like my little makeshift mic setup?
I do like the click.